This is fantastic. I love this. I should probably make another video. Where's the capture card? Oh yeah. Are you having trouble beating the data org in Kingdom Hearts 3? If so, you've clicked on the right video. With my help, you'll be able to deal with Luxor's games, Xemnas' laser beams, and even Shion's bullshit. Just look at some of these amazing testimonials.
The f is a Kingdom Heart?
It's okay.
Just don't listen to it. Just don't listen.
Lucky.
It's the false information. Kingdom Heart, bad game.
Lucky, what the f are you doing?
Doesn't work together. Don't listen to him, kids. Don't listen to it's bad game.
Oh, okay. Now, with all that being said and done, I hope you stick around. Pour yourself a nice cup of France's absolute finest, and let's get into this, shall we?
Mediocre.
Alright, let's get the basics out the way. There is no ultimate weapon here. None of that nonsense.
No!
This is my setup. I've got Kingdom Key, Nano Gear, Starlight. They were originally around halfway upgraded, but off screen I fully upgraded them. This is how you do it. You go on the Gummy ship, you destroy these things, you get the materials. I'm level 99 with Sora. If you're not level 99, I recommend going to Battlegate 1 in Olympus, casting Thunder, and just repeating that for about 2 hours. You'll be level 99 by the end of it. This is how my item setup's looking. I have 4 high potions and 4 ethers. If you have high ethers, mega potions, elixir, even better. As for me, high potions and ethers are just fine. I've also got these 2 items set to my first shortcut menu, so whenever I need them, I can just use them. Next, this is a standard difficulty playthrough. Look, I know, look, I'm sorry, but I play video games for fun, alright? Not for punishment, alright? Cool.
Boo! You stink!
And finally, we have Rage Form. Now, if you ever see me use this, it's only as an emergency heal. If A, I don't want to waste MP or waste a potion, or B, I don't have any MP or I don't have any potions. The strat is to guard, find an opening, get a combo in, risk charge, risk charge, risk charge, finish, and by then I'll have enough MP to heal. And with all that out the way, let's get into the video. Number 1 is Anthem. Now, if you fought Anthem in Kingdom Hearts 1, you'll know just how frustrating he can be. His attacks are kinda sneaky, and of course, there's the notorious
Submit!
Luckily, he seemingly abandoned the Guardian this time. Probably because of Terra-Xehanort having the Guardian, and the theory that Terra was the Guardian the entire time, and they don't want to have 2 Terras coexisting because time travel is already freaking convoluted in this series. Back to the matter at hand. Anthem leaves himself wide open after almost like every attack. I forgot to do it while recording, but you could literally just dodge his attacks, air step towards him, and get like 1.5 combos in. It's crazy. After you've done roughly half of his health, he'll pull out his Desperation move. Again, he's more than vulnerable here. The only thing holding you back is like the constant barrage of projectiles coming your way. You have 2 choices. Tank the hits like an absolute Chad and wait out his DM. Or try and get in between his attacks, try air stepping to find an opportunity. Anthem also has somewhat of like a DM deluxe, where he just bombards you with projectiles. This happens after a more substantial amount of damage has been dealt, but if you can work quickly, efficiently, he'll be done in no time. Again, Anthem is one of the easiest fights in the Data Org. A lot of it just revolves around you getting close as he just keeps levitating away. As he's retreating, just get close and do damage. Xemnas' data fight is a lot more evasion oriented. Blocking certainly helps, but some of his more irritating moves are best dealt with by just dodging. Now, whenever Xemnas says he's gonna force you to the ground, this can be avoided by dodging, but if he says this while you're already on the ground, dodge and air step towards him for a full combo. During the fight, Xemnas will also put up like 3 glass walls before he pops off with a massive combo. Once you see this, get ready to block and or dodge. There's no real vulnerability here, and if he gets you once, he's gonna smack you into each wall, dealing some serious damage.
It's not that much damage, really, Phil. It's not. Could be a lot worse.
Now, if Xemnas surrounds you with a small circle of red lasers, block them, and get ready to counter. You have to get the timing just right, as he says. And in turn, it will grant you a full combo. As for his DM, he brings out the greatest moment from Kingdom Hearts 2. He'll still attack you during this time, and when the attacks cease, he's gonna fire the lasers. These can be easily blocked with good timing, and then he'll continue to attack, and then there'll be 2 waves of lasers. Block the first, quickly dodge, block the second. Yeah, there's a 3rd wave. The same pattern applies, but with an extra dodge and an extra block. Or you could just... yeah. After this, it's pretty much the same fight as before. The grovel timing is somewhat precise, so don't be bummed if you fail it a couple of times. Remember to air step at the right time as he tries to bring you to the ground, and he should be finished. Zigbar, or should I say Break, or should I say... is without a doubt the fight where we're blocking the most. The fight will start with Zigbar creating a huge distance between you and him. Don't bother trying to get close, it's pointless. Just focus on blocking his shots. They have like weird movement patterns, but kinda easy to block once you get the hang of them. He'll also hit you with these like stagnant shots. They'll hit you once, remain in place for a couple of seconds, and then continue their forward momentum. Just try and get the timing right. After he fires a couple more shots, he'll come in close. Block 2 of his attacks, and he'll remain in the air for a moment. This is your window for a counterattack. And afterwards, Zigbar is going to fire a shot that creates a barrier from one end of the battlefield to the other. This first barrier won't get anywhere near you as long as you stay around where you started. It's going to stop around halfway through. Later on in the fight, Zigbar is going to fire more of these that start to cover the whole battlefield. Once they start to get too close, you can just dodge past them. After a few more attacks from Zigbar, a reaction command called Showdown will appear. This activates, well, a showdown. If you've played Ghost of Tsushima, or 1-2 Switch, this shouldn't be a challenge. You just have to press X as soon as Zigbar moves. This in turn grants you a nice chunk of damage, as well as a full combo. Zigbar will also phase in and out whenever you try and hit him. The key is to block 3 of his barrages and then counter the 4th. Zigbar is also seemingly mostly vulnerable when he's upside down. As for Zigbar's DM, it's rather simple. Time your dodges well at the beginning, proceed to do nothing but roll for the middle segment, and finally just run into open space for the final part. Don't go where you've already stood. After this, as usual, it's more or less the same fight again. He'll use a few unblockable shots at first, and then he just goes back to normal shots. Stay patient, close the distance a bit, and counter at the right time, and Zigbar's down for the count. Luke's sword is by far one of the most enjoyable fights in my opinion. But you're not here for my opinion, you're here to find out how to beat these guys. Here's the breakdown. Since Luke's sword has to be different, just as he was different in Kingdom Hearts 2, you don't have just a health bar. Both you and Luke's sword have time gauges. Take damage, you lose time. Deal damage, you gain time. When Luke's sword's times run out, you win. If your time runs out, you lose. It's just a more complicated health bar. When Luke's sword throws small cards at you, they have irregular speed patterns. When the card glows, it's about to rush forward and attack. Now when Luke's sword says, "It's more fun when you beat the odds," get your magic shortcuts ready. Specifically Thunder. If the magic you use matches the respective card, do it 3 times, and you're going to have a full combo opportunity. Now in my experience, Luke's sword has only used Thunder cards and Fire cards, and the Fire cards are rare, so just be wary of that. Keep Fire handy, keep Thunder handy. Luke's sword's next game involves him having 5 cards circle him. Your job is to find the card with the red marking on it, attack it, and repeat the process until all the cards are gone, leaving him vulnerable for a combo. If you take too long, the cards will blow up, damaging both you and damaging your time. The next game involves Luke's sword hiding himself in one of the cards, and the cards are scattered around the arena. Once you've got rid of all the red marking cards, Luke's sword's card will appear, and you can go and attack that for about 2 full combos. The trick here is to manipulate the camera. The cards with black markings on them will always face away from the camera, but you'll be able to manipulate the camera to see the red markings. After repeating the same games, Luke's sword's DM comes out. And I'll be honest, I don't know what I was doing here. Just try and hit the Luke sword cards as best you can, and it will all be over soon. I honestly can't figure out the best game plan here. Eventually the second part of the DM begins, making it easier to attack the cards. Just hit 3 Luke sword cards in a row and you'll be able to damage him. I don't know, I just press buttons. And with that being said, you literally just play by the rules, be wary of your health, be wary of your time, have patience, and Luke's sword's luck will run out before you know it. I'll be totally honest, I just kept counter slashing against Luxine and I won. I didn't need to use my Kupo coin, this fight was a joke. Just be wary of her speed. Try and like cheese your form transformations so you don't take damage during the animation of certain attacks, and you'll be fine. Like, this isn't even capture card footage. This is a PlayStation capture of my first attempt at Luxia. Good luck. Dear Marluxia.
You a bitch!
Marluxia can be one of the most difficult fights in the data org if you don't know what you're doing. To beat Marluxia in a nutshell, for starters, use this setup. Have Fire and Thunder ready. Marluxia begins the fight with this rush of like 5 attacks. Block 4 and dodge the final one. He's glowing here, and that means it's unblockable. And there are a lot of those unblockables in this fight. Because, like I said,
you a bitch!
So dodge that and get a full combo in. Now, whenever Marluxia yells,
Settle down!
again, this means it's unblockable, so just dodge. Whenever Marluxia throws his scythe like this, block the first 2 and dodge the third, because again, it's unblockable. After he's done the third, he'll go to one side of the arena, air step towards him and get that sweet full combo. Really? Now when he sucks you in like this,
Pause, fool! You know I don't get down like that!
you should dodge the incoming unblockable attack. He then sucks you in again,
Pause!
but this time you can block it. I mean, yeah, I f***ed up, but like, whatever.
You fucked up.
And now, whenever Marluxia pulls off this sweet backflip, I'll give him props here. He's about to bring out armor. Now, this is daunting. It's like, oh, Marluxia with armor. One Firaga and he's out. He's out. Use Firaga and proceed to wail on him. Now, Marluxia can summon these thorns, and when these thorns appear, use Thunder. Use Thunder and get rid of them all at once. After a while, he pulls out the biggest douchebag move there is and brings out the Doom counter. You now have a time limit to get rid of Marluxia's armor and dispel the Doom.
Or else you will die.
Fire won't work here, so you can't cheese it again. Keep blocking and then you'll see the skull. Once you see the skull, air step and get a combo in. Keep blocking and dodging, find the openings and get rid of Doom. It should be easy. When Marluxia opens up these small little portals on the ground, keep dodging, keep evading. The portals are unblockable and Marluxia's attacks then are unblockable as well. As for the big portals, you should just double jump and keep gliding. As Marluxia says, for a third time, get ready to block. You'll now have an opportunity for a risk dodge. Yeah, I kind of failed here.
You fucked up.
The rest of the fight is the same. Just understand his attacks and when to dodge and block. That is until his second DM, when he pulls out the Doom counter again. You now have 99 fake seconds to dodge a load of Marluxia's sides. He conveniently stops when you have around 2 real life seconds to live. I advise you to mash Thunder here. Once you've done that, you never have to worry about this
Piece of human trash!
again. Psyx is a very weird case. The fight will begin with him halfway filling his berserk meter. He's still vulnerable. You can indeed damage him, don't worry. He takes a lot of damage, and I mean a lot. But at the same time, he also deals a lot of damage, so Psyx begins the fight with the same attack twice in a row. Now, unlike me, you should evade these. The timing is kinda strange, but easy enough to avoid. The third attack is easily blockable, leading to a nice and healthy full combo. He'll then go for a shockwave move, evade these, and go in for another full combo, which means massive damage. Eventually, Psyx's berserk meter will fully fill up, and when this happens, your only option is to kind of go on the defensive for a bit. Again, he's not invincible here. The meter is still dropping, and he can be comboed, and it's pretty simple. Psyx will continue to attack, mostly sending shockwaves, and then when he spits out a voice line such as "Abandon hope," get ready to dodge, and immediately punish. Rinse and repeat. Just make sure to dodge, you can't counter these, you can't block these. When his berserk meter is about to run out, I advise you try and find an opportunity for a combo. That way, you get the combo in, and once it truly runs out, he's vulnerable for about a couple seconds. And that's pretty much how you get most of the damage in on Psyx. He'll eventually bring out what I can only assume is his DM. Just keep evading Psyx himself and the occasional projectile. He's gonna go in like a weird circular motion, creating ripples in the ground. Just repeat what you learned earlier, and you'll be absolutely fine. Keep an eye on your health, because Psyx hits back harder than you think. Easy dub, let's go. When it comes to fighting Terra, he's different. He's different because he doesn't follow an attack pattern like the rest of the organization. He can do any attack at any point. Now, Terra-Xehanort's moves are quite similar to what he did in Birth by Sleep, so they'll be familiar to my die-hard Kingdom fans out there. What's up, you absolute virgins? I mean, I'm saying that as somebody who's a really big Kingdom Hearts fan myself, so I don't know what I'm really trying to say. So I'm just going to go over how to avoid and deal with each attack. Since there's no real order here, I'm just going to This is just his attacks. His easiest attack to defend against are these small projectiles. What I can only assume is his shot lock. He does 3 of these, and the third fires in a straight line. When you're finishing up the block for the third one, air step towards him for a full combo. Next is his Keyblade Rush, as I've heard people call it. It's Ars Solum from Birth by Sleep. This is unblockable to an extent. Keep dodging the swings, and upon his third attempt, he'll spin. Block the spin for a counter combo. Next is this dashing move, which is reminiscent of what I can only assume are surges from Birth by Sleep. These can be defended by blocking. You can block the first 2, and the third can be countered to lead to another tasty combo. Terra will also use his Guardian at times. When he says, the Guardian will punch Psyx into the ground. Just keep dodging here, you can't block them. These white beams of light will also appear at times. When this sound cue plays, you gotta block or dodge. This will happen twice, and then the Guardian will attack twice. Now when Terra says,
Dark times ahead.
he traps you in this like Shadow Realm type place, and it's just you and the Guardian. Now you gotta dodge the waves the Guardian throws at you and be mindful of the existing beams. Time the final dodge just right and you'll be fine. Now when Terra does this a second time, he'll also join in firing his little shot lock at you. They can be avoided by jumping, and I think blocking. I haven't tried it. Now eventually Terra will charge up another Ars Solum. And you guessed it, this one is completely unblockable. There's nothing to do. Keep dodging. Keep dodging for your life. Like he does this twice in a row. Good luck. And with that, Terra will just be shuffling between the shot lock, the spikes, Ars Solum, and his surges. Just defend them the way I've told you, and you'll be fine for the rest of the fight. And that's the end of Terra-Xehanort's data fight. And now we have the second edgiest boy in the game, Dark Riku. Again, Dark Riku can start off the fight with different attacks, and that pretty much stands for the rest of the fight, just like Terra. Riku can summon these pillars? I don't know what these are, but just
don't touch it.
The pattern they're summoned in will indicate your strategy. If they're summoned in a circle, he's likely to drop in from above. You can block this and get a counter combo in. If he summons 2 walls, then you should wait until he uses shockwaves, air step towards him for a full combo. If they're summoned in this weird formation, like a stack, you can more or less immediately air step towards him for a combo. But during your combo, you might hit one of these pillars. Riku also seemingly has enough brains to actually use a shield in this battle. The shield also has some strategy to it. You can force him to burst the shield, dodge the impact, and go in for a combo. And you should also be wary that if he shields twice in a row, he's about to throw his sword. This is unblockable and is followed by either a combo or by the dash attack from Chain of Memories. You can block the dash to follow up with a risk dodge, dealing some
Major damage!
As for his desperation move, he'll shout,
I'm unstoppable!
and he quite literally is unstoppable here. You just have to block his dashes, dodge to avoid the shockwaves, block his dashes, repeat this 4 times in a row, and then you live. Or, if you have a finisher ready and he's about to die, you could do this and just end the fight. And that's pretty much how you deal with this imposter. Oh no! So you remember how I said that Dark Riku is the second edgiest character in the game? Well, Vanitas is the first. If you know what you're doing, Vanitas' moves are really easy to defend against. Vanitas will start with 2 sets of 3 slash projectiles. You can block them, and upon the final slash, he'll jump back. Now if you air step towards him, you can catch up and get a nice combo in. If you are hit by this, you can counter slash if you're close enough and get a nice combo in anyway. Now when Vanitas breaks away from a combo, he's going to teleport and slam down. Now this is an easy dodge since he usually telegraphs it with a very cocky remark.
You wish! Back at ya!
Next up is fire attacks. Now these come in pairs, a direct attack and a second attack which splits up into loads of small fireballs. Block them both. He then teleports 5 times, and on the 5th teleport, he's going to fire another fireball. He then fires another 3, these ones without splitting fire. Now when Vanitas starts riding the Keyblades, he's going to start shooting ice projectiles. You have to dodge these at like the last second to avoid being hit by them, and if you're hit by them, you get frozen. And if you're frozen, he's going to charge at you anyway on the Keyblades. So you have to dodge this as well. Up next is this like fire plume type move. I don't know. You can either keep dodging or glide away from it. The first 2 are pretty simple to dodge, and the third he'll go even higher and usually follow up with another slam attack. You can block this for a wrist dodge, get a hit in, and go for a counter combo, I guess. As for his DM, he brings out the Keyblades again, and the pure dark shadows here are completely blockable, whereas the shadows that are riding Keyblades, they're not blockable. I advise for you to dodge against these, identify the pattern that you see here, because I don't know what I'm doing. There's hardly any breathing room here, so just make sure you have enough MP on hand while he's forming this ball of darkness. Use an ether or something. This is a very tough desperation move, so if you find yourself low on HP, go for a heal, go for rage form, it doesn't matter. And with that, Vanitas should be a cakewalk. He barely has any unblockable attacks, so it shouldn't be too hard. Okay, we're almost finished. We're almost finished. Young Xehanort. Okay, so Young Xehanort will teleport 3 times. He'll teleport twice, and after his 3rd teleport, he's gonna attack. Get ready to block it, and he's gonna follow up. Block the follow up for a wrist dodge. Now for me, the sound cue for a wrist dodge played here, but there was no wrist dodge indicator. Now when Young Xehanort goes for these Keyblade spinning attacks, they can be blocked and countered after he attempts a finisher. So what you're seeing here, that's the finisher. You can counter this and go in for a full combo. Now when he launches these ice pellets at you in this pattern, you can block the first wave, and as the second one approaches, you have to block slightly before, because this is when Young Xehanort also goes in for an attack. You should definitely block these attacks, because if you do get hit by them, you're frozen. Now when he tries using his whip in the air, block or evade the first attack, and the second attack will leave him vulnerable for another full combo. Now when Young Xehanort projects this pattern on the ground, he's going to use his whip, and if you get hit by this, you are now frozen in time and you're going to take a lot of damage. You can avoid this by either dodging it, or if you're using a heal, kinda bullshitting your way through. As for his desperation move, you gotta block the incoming Xehanort attacks, whilst also keeping an eye on the reticle which will be placed on the real Young Xehanort. The real one lingers around for a bit longer, and like one counter slash and his armor's gone. After his desperation move, he can now teleport 4 times before attacking, and the second ice attack can sometimes be replaced by this healing move. If you attack him while he's healing, you're going to be punished for it. When he's at 1 HP, he'll bring out his desperation move again. This time he's faster and he uses the ice pellets as well. He does take a lot of damage though, and he'll eventually leave himself wide open for a combo if you can evade his attacks correctly. And that should be a wrap for Young Zono. And finally, we come to the most challenging data battle for some. The 14th member of the original Organization 13. It's Shion! Okay, now, where do I begin? Firstly, I highly advise that you use Nano Gear. Shion's moves can and will stun you if you get hit. That, coupled with Shion's beams lowering your health bar, not your health, your entire health bar, you're gonna want all the help you can get. Shion begins the fight by throwing her Keyblade, followed by a flurry of close-up attacks. My strategy here is to counter slash and immediately guard for the next hit. We're taking advantage of some invincibility frames here, come on, let's go, let's go. Doing this will eventually get you a full combo opportunity after her 5th attack. You could alternatively block all of these with the correct timing, but I'm not gonna do that. Shion will then perform 3 consecutive strike raids, guard them for a wrist dodge, a great way to start a combo. Shion will then teleport around you and each teleport will spawn a beam. Blocking these is entirely possible, and getting hit reduces your total amount of health. You can get this back by changing form or by using a link. Now when Shion teleports twice in a row, she's about to go in for an attack. This could either be a flurry of Keyblade strikes, or another strike raid. It can be hard to keep track of everything, as you can see here, I'm still getting hit, so just keep your guard up against the beams alone if you're having trouble with everything. Now Shion can throw her Keyblade 3 times between these beam attacks, and upon the 3rd throw, if you block it correctly, you're going to have another wrist dodge opportunity. It's at this point that Shion enables her armor, and performs what I can only assume is a variation of Blitz. Shion will make a noise every time she's about to go in for an attack. Upon her 5th noise, I advise you block and counter for another full combo, reducing her armor. Now whenever Shion says, "Let it rain," she's about to summon massive beams of light wherever you are. Keep dodging here. It takes about 2 dodges per beam of light. Again, remember to keep an eye on Shion whenever she begins to throw her Keyblade, as that's a sign that she's going to throw more, meaning another sweet wrist dodge is coming. When she throws her Keyblade, she can also split it up into beams. The premise is the same though, if they split into beams, it still counts as her throwing her Keyblade. Block 2 more and then you have another wrist dodge. Now her Keyblade involves her bringing out more beams in a closed environment, and she'll continue to rush out from out of nowhere. Keep your red squad on her as best you can, and keep counter slashing, whittling down her armor. It will take about 7 slashes to bring her armor down. This depends on your stats of course. Now when these beams are circling you, stay still for a second. They're not going to close in on you, they're going to split away and then start moving very erratically. There's no real pattern here, which is why this is such a difficult desperation move. After this, the rest of the fight pretty much follows the same pattern. Be mindful of your actual health bar. If you can get combos in on Shion, you'll have your form changes ready. These are going to bring your health bar back, use a heal afterwards, and with that, that's the end of Organization 13's Data Org battles. Yep, that is how you beat all of the Data Org in Kingdom Hearts 3. Every single one. Listen, I made a video showcasing the Terra-Xehanort fight. It's up there. Granted, it's not very good, but it's out there, alright? Just leave me be. Please just leave me alone. I can't do this. I just don't want to fight Terra-Xehanort. Hey, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. Again, if you enjoyed, leaving a like helps out a ton. Subscribe if you want to see more of what I do. Huge thanks to the guys who helped me out at the start of the video. You can check out LuckyFist here and here. He's a pretty swell dude. He makes funny video. You should check him out. He's very funny. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but let's take things one step at a time.